Thank you all for joining Home of Politics. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, comment, and also share my videos with your community, with your friends. And remember to turn on the notification button so that you remain updated. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue of fertilizers, that is subsidized fertilizers that our government has been promising farmers since the time when they were making their promises, it has now come to pass whereby the government is very happy providing a lot of fertilizers across Kenya. But sorrowful thing that we have just come to realize is that these fertilizers are fake. They are not standardized. They are made of stones, sand, and they do not have any value to a farmer. And so it is making us sad because even if this promise has been fulfilled, then it is costing us because farmers have been conned. It is also a threat to the food security in Kenya in the near future. And even if these farmers are being promised to have a pamba harvest, then it is a problem to us because if your money has gone on fake fertilizers, the government is not compensating you, then it is just a problem that this government has fixed us. And so up to there, we are really worried. When did this scandal of fake fertilizer start in Kenya? You will be very much surprised to see maybe this issue of fertilizer is a serious thing, but it have been handled with the seriousness that is not of high order because maybe they have been feeling like farmers are so stupid they will never realize this thing. But to be sincere speaking, this issue of fake fertilizer started last year in 2023, whereby the fake fertilizer was on the market and it was applied to very many farmers who did not realize the issue of fake fertilizers. It was applied and the yield outside here, it was not satisfying because you cannot use sand or stones to increase the yields of the produce in the farm. More especially the fake seeds, they are not certified. And so we find ourselves in a problem whereby the parliament or the government has been trying to investigate the issue of fake fertilizers, but it have been very slowly, chini ya maji, not until these farmers themselves have decided to raise the alarm because the money has been conned and they have no help. And so up to there, we have seen some of the MPs, others from the Kenya Kwanza side, others from the opposition side, they have decided to come together to condemn this issue of fake fertilizers because how can fake fertilizers be released in the market for a period of more than 1 year, yet it is still again being supplied? One of the most vocal MP who is very concerned with the issue of farmers, it is Githunguri MP Gathoni Wamuchomba from UDA, who is very vocal. And she's one of the MPs who has stood firmly regardless of the position where she is, and she's ready to serve the people, especially to fight for the welfare of the farmers.
Farmers from Tanzania, from Busia, from all over Kenya, including Kiambu, Meru, farmers are agonizing over the insensitive way of enabling them to produce from their farms or from their fields. The president has been very vocal talking about subsidized seeds and subsidized fertilizers. But to our utter shock, the fertilizer that is out there being sold as subsidized fertilizer from outlets from National Cereals and Produce Board. And in this case, I'm talking about the fertilizer that the farmers are receiving messages on their phone. They qualify for subsidy program. It is adulterated fertilizer. The seeds that are available are fake seeds. And we are the farmers' voice, and we must call out the minister in charge of agriculture. The minister has appeared on television and on newspapers denying that there is no fake fertilizer. Yet, we are witnessing this kind of fertilizer every day. Yesterday, I was presented with 5 bags of fertilizer that is purported to be fertilizer, but it is fake stones mixed with donkey's poo. Donkey's poo is the waste from the donkey. Donkey's poo mixed with the stones, and it is being sold as subsidized fertilizer. We must call out this mess. The government has become so insensitive to the extent that now they are calling farmers. This is something that we want to see serious arrests. We want to know who is behind this scam. We want to know where did the fertilizer that was supposed to be real fertilizer go, and who is behind this serious, massive scam of taking advantage of our old and elderly farmers in our village. This must stop, and every farmer who has been conned must be reimbursed their money. Every farmer who has been sold to fake seeds must be compensated by the government. It is in line with the Kenyan Constitution, the right to protection of property, that we are here speaking, so that we can make sure that the government follows and obeys the rule of law and provide the Kenyan farmers with what they are supposed to be given. So we want to know how much of that fertilizer, in terms of quantity, has been released into our villages. Because we are seeing 5 bags here, 10 bags here, 5 bags there. We want to see data from the Ministry of Agriculture. And the Minister of Agriculture, Bwana Linturi, must come out now and attack this issue, arrest this issue, and we want to see serious arrest being done by the ministry, by the government, and by the Ministry of Interior. This issue of conmanship must stop.
According to how things are happening in Kenya, it seems like things to do with investigations of various big companies is a problem. It is being taken for granted, maybe because things that are happening outside there, maybe it is interfering with the investigation. Because a big question is, according to the investigation, we see the fertilizer has been in market for a period of 1 year, and we wonder how did it get in the market and where was KEBS to verify if this fertilizer was standard, substandard, or not even recommended for the use. What about the substandard seeds? Why should they use the certified seeds? What about the losses that farmers incurred in the last year's harvest? How is the government going to compensate these farmers who had requested a lot of fertilizers from their board? What about the refundment? What about how is the government planning to refund these farmers the money that they have been conned? And so up to there, we find that this fake fertilizer has been supplied, starting with Bungoma, Busia, Nakuru, everywhere. And right now, they say that these fertilizers have been confiscated, but within a day, you hear some of the bags have been found somewhere. And so you wonder, where are these people, responsible authorities, who should be checking this issue of fertilizers? And so up to now, it means that now the government has got no other interest in the issues of farmers, but only to expect taxing this produce that comes out of the farm. At the end of it all, you have been conned your money, you have a lot of loss because you have not yielded any profit from the farm. But according to the Finance Bill 2023, the farmers will be taxed accordingly. And this is not helping us out. This is whereby we'll find this nation in a crisis of food insecurities. And it starts like this, whereby inputs are substandard, expecting a lot of yields at the end of it all, so that they can tax the same farmers and the same farmers to provide food for the nation. It is going to be very difficult, especially now that farmers demand their compensation and another way out to solve the problem, because the season for planting is all over Kenya and farmers cannot sit like that because the fake fertilizers are all over in Kenya. And so you reach a point, you wonder, what is the relationship between the company that produces this fake fertilizer, KEBS, and the government? Because there is no way something that is not useful can circulate in a market for a period of more than 1 year, yet these officials are aware. And so up to now, it seems like the leaders will have to unite, whether in opposition, whether in government, to fight this thing and to raise the voice of farmers. Because if the government have been investigating this issue to do with fertilizers for a period of 1 year, there's no solution, and the fertilizer is still in market, then it have to take another direction. And that is why it calls for a strong leader, for a fearless leader like Gathoni Wamuchomba to air out the issues like this one. And so guys, I don't know how we will support this issue, because right now at least justice should be done to the farmers, because this is very dangerous to the food security of our nation. What about the time when we have been striking, demonstrating about the high cost of living, high food prices? Yet this is another situation that is making us to lack food in Kenya. And so let us say no to this conmanship that is happening. Especially, this government is waiting to tax farmers. It is waiting to tax these things that will be taken to the market. Yet it is the same government that is supplying fake fertilizers. We need to see the conman, these people who are involved in the procedures of supplying, being arrested, being brought to the books, and the farmers to be compensated because they work so hard to provide food in our nation. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.